A new Dark Knight rises. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 1 of Batman Caped Crusader. This is taking over for Superman, My Adventures with Superman, and the timing worked out so perfectly on that. It's just so great. um so this is the new Batman series. It's made by and worked on by people from Batman the Animated Series, and it is just insanely hype. I've seen one trailer for it. I think it was like the initial trailer that dropped. And this is promising to be a darker take on Batman than other animated series we've gotten. Basically, from what I've gathered, it's going to be like the animated series, except it's going to be like unrestrained because it's on Amazon Prime. It doesn't have to adhere to like television network standards, and it's able to go a lot farther with things. It's going to be a lot darker. Hell, it might even have like a lot more blood or swearing or stuff like that. I don't expect anything like Invincible or The Boys, no. But I'm definitely expecting it to go to places that the animated series probably would never. Now, a little bit of a history lesson here. Batman the Animated Series was my shit growing up. That series shaped my love for superhero media. And really just, it's what really got me into this as a medium and made me love a lot of these characters. I mean, it's the series that created Harley Quinn. Like, you can't minimize the impact that has had. That is such a pop culture impact. On that alone. But there's been other stuff too. The animated series also created the backstory we think of when we think of Mr. Freeze. The animated series did a lot for other characters like Two-Face, Poison Ivy, and so many more. The animated series shaped what we know as Batman ever since. And it's just one of those shows that is, without question, like one of the best superhero pieces of media ever made. Not just shows, not just animations, pieces of media, period. And again, this is what shaped my love for superhero media. It's what shaped my love for a lot of this kind of content. And I've seen all of Batman the Animated Series. I've seen all of the New Adventures. I've seen all of the Batman series. Where Kevin Michael Richardson played the Joker. That one. And it's like, I've seen Batman became my favorite superhero because of that series. And even though there's other heroes that I would consider close to Batman in terms of favorites, like Wonder Woman or Spider-Man, Batman has never been surpassed, and it's because of stuff like that. So, knowing that this is being made by some of the same people, knowing that it's basically like a spiritual successor to that, is huge. It's so hype, so cool, so exciting. Now, I don't know much about this series. I'd like what's going to happen and everything and specific details. Like I said, I only saw a trailer, and I maybe heard like one or two things like through social media. One of the things I believe I heard was I believe that the Penguin is going to be played by Tom Kenny again, which is pretty cool because Tom Kenny's a great Penguin. I know Scarecrow is in this. I believe that the Gotham PD are going to have a big role because I believe Renee Montoya is a notable character. She was, I believe, in the trailer that I saw. Um, I'm very interested to see what other villains they bring in. I'm also interested to see the designs because the designs of the Rogues Gallery have changed depending on different iterations. Obviously, you have the classic designs in the animated series, but when the animated series became the New Adventures, the designs were changed a little bit, and then the Batman had some pretty wild, different designs, and so and then just different iterations throughout time have also done so. Um, so I'm very curious to see what they do with the designs here. I do know that Harley Quinn is very different in this series. She's supposed to be a much more serious villain and has a very different design. I have seen her design. You've seen it in the little pop up thing during the cutaway I have on these videos since last week. You'll have seen like the cut of her like walking towards the camera on the Friday slot there. Um, yeah, it's a very different design, and I like that. I like that they're changing things up. Some people are like purists and say like, oh, they can't change things. It's like the character has to be exactly as we know them. It's like no, they don't. One, multiverse is just a concept of comic book lore that is not only relevant because of the MCU and stuff now, but is has just always been a thing. Any version can be very different. Hell, the version of Harley Quinn in the Batman was very different than the version that was in originally in the animated series. So it's like you shouldn't expect every version to be the same. In fact, it's actually better if every version is a little different because it allows each one to stand out on its own and make its own impact. It's the same thing with live action adaptations as well. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Well, I mean, hell, the Joker movie did exceptionally well despite it being exceptionally different than how the Joker is in the comics, the animated series, etc., etc. And the new one has already promised that Harley Quinn is going to be extremely different in it than we know her. And I want that. I want new takes on this. And believe me, I get it because I used to be the kind of person who got really pissy when things weren't comic accurate and stuff like that. I used to be that kind of person, but I'm not anymore because I acknowledge that that idea stifles creativity. It stifles creativity and hurts the overall just possibilities that these kinds of shows create when they're done differently. We need that kind of creativity to help, honestly, the entertainment medium going. It's not going to keep going properly if we stifle that creativity and uniqueness and all. So, yeah, it's a stupid idea that, again, I regretfully used to be a part of, but I've grown past that. And now I embrace new takes. I mean, not every new take is good. Some of them can be bad. Some of them can definitely not work. But I embrace at least the attempt. um. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited to see like how dark it gets and exactly what routes they take and what they do with the villains. Um. It promises to be a pretty great series, and I'm hoping it really delivers on that. So yeah, we're gonna get into this and see what this first episode has in store for us. Oh, also, I've heard good things since it came out, like yesterday. People have already been praising it. It's already gotten really good reviews. I haven't obviously read any of them, or I don't know what people are exactly saying because I've avoided that. But I have heard good things, and that's also exciting. So let's just get into this and see what this first episode of Batman Caped Crusader has in store for us. Cutting in here real quick to remind you that we have a lot of great content to check out on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions with 2 on Friday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday, as well as Let's Plays every day of the week. We switch on and off every day between Horizon and Baldur's Gate 3 and have Anno Mutationum on Saturdays. Please don't forget to click the link in the description below to follow it to today's reaction. We redirect everything just due to copyright. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video and the channel, respectively. And I hope you have a great time with today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Why is the penguin hot? I am genuinely, like, thrown off by that. Like, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I think she is genuinely, like, super attractive. And it's just, it's weird. It's so weird because I'm so used to the penguin just, you know, being, you know, typically what you see in the animated series or whatnot, with like Tom Kenny voicing him, like, you know, or in the Harley Quinn series, kind of shown in the same look there. There's occasionally a version of the penguin who's shown to be like a little more like regal looking and not as like squat and stout and not really ugly, but, you know, a little like weird looking. And mind you, in this, like, she has the nose and everything, but like outside of that, it's just like she's like kind of gorgeous. Like, even beyond just being super fucking thick, which it's like, Jesus. Like, in terms of her, like, face, her voice, it's like, she's just so goddamn pretty. And I'm so thrown off by it. But, moving past that, this was phenomenal. This was such a strong start. It felt like a good detective story. Batman, like, didn't overstay it. This is a weird way to say it, but Batman didn't overstay his welcome. You know, that sounds weird. It's like, oh, it's a Batman series. Batman should be like the main focus and everything. It's like, yeah, but he's also Batman. He's supposed to be stealthy. He's supposed to be kind of in the shadows. He's not supposed to be like constantly out there and like in your face. He's supposed to be like this mysterious figure, and he felt like that here. It felt like it was presenting him probably early in his career, based on the fact that people are still finding out about him. But it's presenting him as this mysterious dark figure who kind of just shows up every now and again, rather than, you know, he's just always there in your face and everything. And it might evolve into that, but that's a better option than just starting like that. Starting off with the first episode by having him be, you know, more mysterious and in the shadows and stuff is exactly how you should start it with a Batman story. And this is actually showcased in one scene in particular perfectly well. The scene where he comes and literally performs a hit and run on those goons who were after Barbara and the one son, Ronnie, I think his name was. When he does the hit and run, but it's like she only sees him through the window. He gives her a slight nod and then drives off. It's like, that is Batman to me. He's not like in your face. He doesn't like jump out of the car and start beating on the bad guys or like take them to jail. She just sees him like through the glass of the Batmobile's window. And he doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything more. He just comes in, takes out the bad guys, takes off. It's mysterious. It's subtle. It's like, that is exactly what it should be for like an early appearance in the first episode. And it's like we get to see a little bit of him as Bruce Wayne still. And we get to see him using the same line on Barbara and then these other women. And it's like, I like that. It really sells the kind of like playboy personality Bruce is supposed to have. But we also see like other scenes where he is like acting all like mysterious and shadowy and stuff, like when he's at the police station. Um, and he, or was it the police station, or was it Barbara's office? I think it was supposed to be Barbara's office. But either way, he comes around that pillar like that. It was like, that was just so good. That was so well done. But like when the moments like where he's fighting bad guys, it's like he needs to be a little more front and center, and he still sells that really well. Again, he's not like super active and yelling at people. He's just like coming in and being mysterious and quiet, but still like fighting and taking on the enemies that he needs to take on. But I also love like we get to see the detective work in this. We get to see the action. We get to see um we even get to see like him acknowledge that his actions here have had consequences he didn't consider at first. And I like that. I like that it's showing that if this is early into his career as Batman, he's still new at this. He's still figuring things out. And his actions by taking down the Penguin just made things worse in terms of Rupert Murdoch and all. It's like, this is so good. This is like just surprisingly good. And I'm not saying I thought it was going to be bad or anything, not by any means. I mean, Bruce Timm is in on this. Matt Reeves from the Batman movie with oh god, what was his name? Also, I said Rupert Murdoch. What the fuck? Rupert Thorne. But Pattinson, as I like to call him. Yeah. Matt Reeves is here from that. It's like, you got J.J. Abrams working on this. It's just like, what a powerhouse team. Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves. It's like, what the fuck? It's like you were just dedicated to making the best Batman story possible. And, I mean, so far, it's like, damn good. Like I said in the reaction, I'm sure there's going to be some people on the more conservative side of things who are going to bitch about Penguin being a woman. Because the gender bent changes for pretty much any character anytime they happen, it's going to get that certain demographic of people bitching. Because they can't handle a male character being turned female. If a female character is turned male, they don't usually care as much. I wonder why. But when a male character is turned female, they for some reason see it as an insult, and they like go on about the entire like, oh, it's ruining the character, and it's like, you don't understand the character if you're doing this, and it's like it's an insult to the original comics, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously. And I know there are going to be people who are bitching about that. But it's like, I'm just sitting here like just swooning over her. And I know that's maybe like the complete opposite end of the reaction spectrum, but it's like, I don't give a shit. Like, even if she wasn't like absurdly hot, it's like, I think it's fine. There's no problem with that as long as it still feels like the character. And I think she does. In fact, I think she's almost better in a lot of ways than a lot of interpretations. Because there's a lot of interpretations of the Penguin that are very... What would be a good word for it? Just kind of a fuck up in some ways. There's like other words I was trying to think of, but I can't think of them right now. But usually the Penguin is kind of like a goofy character. And I know in a lot of the comics he's not meant to be. He's more serious and, well-spoken and whatnot. But whether it was started with the animated series or otherwise, Penguin has kind of become synonymous for being known that way. Obviously, Danny DeVito, when he portrayed him in live action, was a little more creepy and freaky, but he's usually portrayed as like this kind of like weird dope. And here, the Penguin in this series is a lot more serious, a lot more intimidating, definitely more threatening. Like giant fucking laser cannon on that can take out like any fucking building in Gotham from a distance. It's like that's terrifying. um and it's just like she's not goofy like pretty much at all. Like not really violently, but like horrifically at least murders her own son because she thought he sold her out because she was led to believe that on purpose by Rupert Thorne. Um and then when she finds out the other son is the one who sold her out, her her first thought isn't, "Oh, I killed the wrong son." It's, "This guy's going to spill all our secrets. We got to catch him. We got to stop him." She doesn't give a shit that she killed the wrong son before cuz she doesn't care. She has no moral or ethical like issues with that. And she was ready to just kill this son too. I mean, if the goons hadn't been just blasted by the Batmobile there, um, probably would have happened. Um, usually in a lot of these shows and whatnot, a lot of these animated projects, Batgirl Barbara Gordon is usually shown as being younger, usually a teenager. In the Harley Quinn series, she's a college student, but it's like still pretty young. Here, she's like a full fledged lawyer and everything. And it's like if she does become Batgirl or Batwoman, it's like she's going to be she would be like an older version of that than we usually see. And I have no problem with that, just like I have no problem with the gender bending. I'm just like curious as to how they would work that in this one comparatively. And she is the one who did see Batman here, outside of like criminals seeing him. Um, and she told her father about that. And I'm just wondering where that's going with that. That's just really fascinating. Um, yeah, I'm just so impressed with this. And again, I didn't think it was going to be bad. I thought it was going to be great, but it surpassed my expectations. All the characters did well, all the voice actors did well. It's like even like voices that are a little more goofy typically, like John DiMaggio and Jeff Bennett's voices, they're silly sounding voices. Let's be completely honest here. But both VAs did a great job in this episode where they made it feel like, oh yeah, these characters are just characters here. They are to be taken seriously. They're not goofy. You could tell it's them still. Like you can very much clearly recognize Jeff Bennett and John DiMaggio's voices. But it's definitely a more serious performance. You know what I mean? And I like that because it's like when I think of John DiMaggio, I think of like characters like Jake the dog or the Scotsman from Samurai Jack or whatnot, characters like that, and it's like pretty goofy characters. When I think of Jeff Bennett, I think of all the random characters he just voices in various series because that's kind of what he does, and a lot of times they're very goofy or silly characters and performances. But I like seeing their range here. And we've seen range with both of them before, especially John DiMaggio, who was the Joker in Under the Red Hood. It's like they do have range. And it's always great to actually see that. Or, I guess, technically hear it. um, I like that the Gordon in this kind of seems like he's supposed to be like the Gordon from the Batman movie, the Matt Reeves movie. Um, he very much comes across very similarly to that, so that's really interesting. I don't think this is meant to take place. Well, actually, no, it can't take place within the same universe because in the Matt Reeves movie, Penguin is a guy played by Colin Farrell. Which, by the way, that spin-off series is I think coming out soon, unless it already has. Um, but yeah, I'm I'm very interested that they chose to go that route with Gordon in this, because I really liked that Gordon. I thought he was fantastic in the Batman movie. So yeah, um, they really seem to be changing things up a lot for this. Because again, I mentioned in the pre thoughts, Harley is very different in this series. Um, but now we have like a femme penguin. We have like the Matt Reeves style Gordon, an adult Barbara Gordon right off the bat. It's like, yeah, a lot of differences, but none of them bad. All of them actually good. Like good differences that just work on every conceptual level. This is just so impressive and so good. It has like the best team working on the some great VAs, and actually real quick, um yeah, Minnie Driver, by the way, as Penguin is a wildly unexpected but great casting choice. I want to see, I want to look up Batman's VA, Hamish Linklater. um Diedrich Bader, by the way, who voices Harvey, he's the voice of Batman in the Harley Quinn series, fun fact. um Hamish Linklater. I want to see what else he's done. Like, do I know him from anything, or is he like semi new? He is known for playing Matthew Kimball in The New Adventures of Old Christine. Never seen it. He's in The Crazy Ones, Legion. No. Midnight. Oh, Midnight Mass. I've heard of that. But I don't think I've really seen any of those. According to this, he's been acting in films since 2000. He was in the Fantastic Four movie. Oh, okay. Some character named Leonard. I don't know who that is, but that's interesting. Anything I would know him for, though. Not just anything I've seen that happens to have him in it. Unicorn. Did I see Unicorn Store? Yeah, yeah, that's the Brie Larson movie. Huh, apparently he was in that. Okay. What about television? Okay, he's been in television since 2000 as well. Anything I would know, not just, again, things I've seen. He was apparently in an episode of Law and Order SVU. There's Legion, Midnight Mass, American Horror Story Delicate. He played Abraham Lincoln in a series called Manhunt. He's also done a lot of theater stuff, but yeah, it doesn't look like anything I would know him for. Okay. He's doing a great job. Like, his Batman voice is spot on. Just he's so good in this, and everyone is good in this, mind you. Uh, like I said, although did my camera die? When did my camera die? God damn it! Let me try to bring that up real quick. Oh, it's gonna. Oh, maybe we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know when that died, but yeah, apologies. But yeah, everyone was great in this. This was just a fantastic first episode. But I would love to hear what you thought. So tell me in the comments below what your thoughts on this first episode of Batman Caped Crusader are. Let me know, how much did you enjoy the tone and style of it? What did you think of the changes, such as Femme Penguin and whatnot? Let me know all your thoughts down below. And for now, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.